right, good morning, folks. I think I've got just about everybody here that needs to be here on this. Um, all right, well, let me go ahead and call the case. It's going to be CV 21028 in the interest of Justice McCaffery. We're set today for an adversary hearing. And Mr. Reed, you've got Ms. Thomas there with you?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And is Mr. McCaffery going to be with you as well?
Judge, Ms. Thomas retained me. Mr. McCaffery, for mine, does not have an attorney, is what I understand.
Okay. I just didn't know whether they were still together or what that was working. Okay. All right. And so I do have to give you a statutory warning, Ms. Thomas, that your parental rights and duties are subject to restriction or termination if you are unwilling or unable to provide your child or children with a safe environment. And so let's go ahead and get started today. And I want everyone who is going to be testifying today to please raise your right hand. And do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony provided today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, and Mr. Hill, any announcements, or would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. So I have been in conversations with Mr. Reed this morning, and I believe that we have an agreement regarding TMC, but there are still some things that we need to hash out regarding visitation. I would love the opportunity to have a breakout room with Mr. Reed, Ms. Latre, and Mr. Brake just to hammer out some final details, but we should be able to have an agreement, or at least know where we can agree here in the next few minutes.
You sure you don't want to take Miss Long with you? Everybody else, you know?
Oh, sure, absolutely. She can go as well.
All right, well, it should be opened up for you guys.
Thank you.
They're talking.
Anne Marie came by. And I looked down, I was like, oh, snaps. Well, I don't know where everybody is.
Yeah, Paul wanted everyone to go into a breakout room
Oh, okay.
to discuss. They have an agreement for TMC, but they were discussing visitation.
Oh, okay. I think my printer's gonna catch on fire in here. I've been using it all morning.
All right, and Mr. Breck will probably be back in a second. Mr. Hill, do you have an opportunity to discuss things?
Yes, Your Honor. And I believe that we have come to an agreement. Ms. Thomas is going to agree that the department be appointed TMC of the child, Justice McCaffery Thomas, and she will have visits 2 hours a week in person at the CPS office. However, given the winter storm right now, the Mejia office is closed. So we would request that those visits be authorized to happen at the caregiver's home, who is a relative, and be supervised with the caregiver, and CPS could also supervise those visits at the caregiver's home for 2 hours a week as well.
Is that going to be a permanent thing, or that does make sense to me that you say it's going to be supervised by the department, but yet we're going to start with the caregivers. Is that only going to be for a certain length of time that's going to be at the caregiver's house?
Correct, until the Mejia office is open again.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Reed, is that your client's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Hill, if you'd like to call a witness just to kind of prove up the basics, you may do so.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call CJ Brake.
Go ahead.
And Mr. Brake, how are you related to this case?
I'm the investigator assigned to the case.
Okay. And who's the child who's the subject of this case?
Her name is Justice Thomas McCaffery.
And who's the mother?
The mother is Carissa Thomas.
And I believe the father is alleged at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And who's the alleged father?
Gregory McCafferty.
Right. And what was the initial allegation in this case?
So the initial allegations in this case were medical neglect. Well, not really medical neglect, but there was some concern about the child being taken to a clinic for COVID-19 testing. And at that clinic, they observed the child with a high pulse rate and respiratory rate and advised to take the child to the emergency room. The mother declined to take the child that day, but took her the next day. And then the reporter was also concerned that there was history of drug use with the mother in the early stages of her pregnancy.
Okay. And can you briefly summarize what your investigation revealed?
So the investigation revealed that Ms. McCafferty at first said that she wasn't using drugs, but did agree to drug test, and her hair test came back positive for methamphetamines. The child was drug tested as well, and her test came back for methamphetamines also.
Okay. And at this time, is the department asking to be named temporary managing conservator of the child?
Yes, sir.
And since the initiation of the investigation, has Miss Thomas drug tested for you?
Yes.
And what were the results of those drug tests?
2 UAs were negative, and then the hair was positive.
Okay.
I was going to send her to drug test last week, but because of the storm, she wasn't able to go.
Okay. And so at this time, is the department asking that the visits occur for 2 hours a week at the CPS office supervised by CPS?
Yes.
But because of the winter storm and the effects, are we asking that those be allowed to take place at the caregiver's home?
Yes, for 2 hours a week, supervised by the caregiver. Or if the new caseworker wants to supervise, that would be allowed also.
Okay. And then when the Mejia office is back open, the visits would go back to the Mejia office. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you believe that this is all in the child's best interest?
Yes, sir.
All right. And have we asked about Native American heritage?
She declined. She stated she knew of none.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Reed,
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Latre,
Do you believe that the child would be safe? Would you have concerns for the child's safety if the child were returned to the mother at this time?
I would have concerns for the child's safety.
All right, I'll pass the witness.
all right, Mr. Brake, where's the child placed?
She's placed with a fictive, well, actually relative placement in Fairfield at Shauna Morton's house, who Miss Thomas named as a potential placement.
Okay, Mr. Hill, any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Reed, any witnesses?
Just briefly, Judge, I'd like to call Ms. Thomas.
Go ahead.
Ms. Thomas, can you please state your name for the record?
Caressa Marquita Thomas.
Okay, and you have heard the agreement that Mr. Hill recited. You were involved in the breakout room where we talked about the agreement. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point in time, do you think that is in the best interest of your child?
Yes, sir.
You understand that CPS is going to do whatever they can to help reunify your family. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But you also understand that it is totally up to you to work the plan, stay drug-free, provide a stable household, and to be able to provide for this child's basic needs. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you've heard that there is an acknowledged father, and his name is?
Gregory Allen McCaffery.
Okay. And so is there anyone else who potentially could be a father that you know of at this point?
No, sir.
Okay. And again, you have, I think you heard Mr. Bray, but you have no Native American blood in you. Is that correct?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay. All right. So you're willing to work this plan and get your child back?
Yep. Do whatever they want me to do.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill,
No questions.
Mr. Trey?
No questions.
Yeah, and you used the magic word, Mr. Reed. You said acknowledged father. Did he sign the birth certificate and acknowledgement of paternity?
In reading the affidavit that Mr. Bray prepared, he did not sign the birth certificate. He was going to sign an AOP at one point in time, but he refused to do so. So that's why I wanted to, I don't think there's, obviously there could be unknown fathers, but that's why I wanted to get that testimony out there that there were no other unknown fathers, that he's the only potential father at this time.
Okay, because he's not technically acknowledged till he actually acknowledges. If we get him in court, I think he will, but he has to sign the acknowledgement because that's a legal term.
Did I say acknowledged?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay. But if we get him in court, I anticipate he probably will acknowledge, to be honest with you. Okay. Ms. Latre, any witnesses or recommendations?
No witnesses, Your Honor. I do recommend that you accept the agreement and make CPS or the department, sorry, I can't spit it out today, make the department the temporary managing conservator of the child.
All right, thank you. All right, well, the department will continue as the temporary managing conservator of justice, and I will approve the current placement that has been identified by mom. I will also approve the visitation schedule of 2 hours per week, and the supervision by the caregiver at this point. Obviously the department and Ms. Latre will have access to those visitation periods. So they do need to be set up through the department so that they have knowledge of when those visitations are taking place. Our next hearing is going to be the status hearing on March the 18th, which is coming up pretty quick. But what that status hearing is, Ms. Thomas, is you will have an opportunity to participate in the development of what's called a family plan of service. And you'll have, some input as to what services are necessary. And we'll go through that at that hearing to determine whether that's the most appropriate things to do in this particular case. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else that I need to go over or anything else I need to address?
Not from the department, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I am glad that everyone reached an agreement in this, and we'll see you back in March and see if we can't get this thing going.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thanks a lot. And we're going to be adjourned.
Thank you, Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.